Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Village of Deerfield Board of Trustees, Monday, January 6, 2025. Roll call, please.
Mayor Shapiro.
Here.
Trustee Benton.
Here.
Trustee Berg.
Here.
Trustee Goldstone.
Here.
Trustee Jacoby is absent. Trustee Metz-Childers is absent. Trustee Oppenheim.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Chair. If we could all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome back, everybody, from vacations and holidays. We're going to roll right into our business, a report of the Administration Department. Justin.
Thank you, Mayor. It's been another very busy year in the Village Manager's Office, which includes, again, the Village Manager's Office, Communications, and IT. Starting with Village Communications, the Facebook group is now followed by 4,319 people and reached 74,000 people. Looking at the e-blast, we have 3,182 people signed up for it, and it was opened 97,000 times. So certainly David's doing a good job making sure that we're communicating with the public as well as we possibly can. Following a request from the mayor and board, staff issued an RFQ to 7 crisis communication firms to develop a crisis communication plan. After a long process, JT Strategic Communications was selected, and the plan was delivered in December with a plan for a presentation to the village board sometime this year. David also created and officially launched the village's presence on LinkedIn, basically just increasing our professional network with different job opportunities. Jumping to general government operations, staff acted as the primary liaison to the greenhouse gas reduction work group. Thanks to Jessica, the village was awarded a Soul Smart Gold designation by the U.S. Department of Energy. Staff worked to implement in-house administration adjudication hearings. This included coordinating with Village Council to update the municipal code and roll out new Tyler technology software. 2 hearings were held in 2024, with monthly hearings scheduled for 2025, including January 17th is the next hearing. Staff continues to work closely with the mayor and various intergovernmental partners on a number of economic development matters to proactively retain and attract businesses and new residents. This includes serving as the TIF administrator for both the downtown and Lake Cook Road TIF districts. Staff transitioned 11 events processes from a paper-based system to online platform for OpenGov, including applications for food vendors, market vendors, sponsorships, and civic organizations. Happy to report for the first time ever, we have every single food vendor signed up for all 2025 events already as of today, January 6th. For Food Truck Wednesday, we have 10 spots. We had 17 groups signed up. Harvest Fest, all the food spots are taken. Looking for Family Days, everything's filled at this point. So we are very happy to have that done already at this point.
What does that tell us?
We have great events, well-attended events with a number of residents. So it's been wonderful using OpenGov and just seeing how much easier it is doing an online process. Taking the credit card payments, no more. I mean, that would be hundreds and hundreds of paper applications, and now everything's online. It is a much easier process. The vendors are extremely happy. They create one account, and they can sign up for all village events. So it works well for residents, staff, and the vendors. Staff oversaw community events, including the Farmers Market, Food Truck Wednesdays, Harvest Fest, Downtown Tree Lighting, as well as Winter Celebration and the Winter Market. And we are having 7 food truck events coming up in 2025, up from 4 last year. In addition to coordination with the DBR Chamber of Commerce provided by community development and finance staff members, administration staff continue to engage the local business community through and with the DBR Chamber on many levels, including planning, special events, and attendance at the DBR Chamber Board of Director meetings. Over the course of the year, the Village Manager's Office responded to 61 FOIA requests related to general government inquiries. The Cemetery Commission, and this is, you have a document sitting in front of you right now of this. The Cemetery Commission hired a contractor to use ground-penetrating radar to survey 4 plots in the historic Deerfield Cemetery in order to locate previous unmarked graves. So if you look there, at this point, the cemetery was commissioned in 1854. A lot of the headstones are gone. So as we have new members reach out frequently to, or title holders or deed holders for the cemetery reach out, they ask us, are there any more plots available that they could be buried in. So by doing this, we can accurately predict where those spots are. The last thing we want to do is accidentally dig anyone up.
Oh.
So
How many slots are left? Do we know?
there are a couple dozen.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're finding more as we do these surveys.
Yeah.
There are a number of areas where we thought there were vacancies, and there are not. So definitely makes it a lot easier by doing this. It's certainly a worthwhile cause. The staff coordinated the issuance of 46 liquor licenses in the village and ensured all persons listed on the license passed the required police department background checks and fingerprinting. The Community Relations Commission completed another year of its Heritage Month celebration program. In partnership with Swelco and LRS, staff promoted and provided starter kits to residents for Hefty Renew, a recycling program that provides means to dispose of hard-to-recycle items and divert waste from landfills. The Family Days Commission began rebranding the newsletter and logo for the 2025 season. We should have a new logo rolled out here hopefully in the next 4 weeks, give or take. And we're also planning on moving from a 16-page brochure, which has become cost prohibitive at this point due to the increased printing cost, to a 4-page fold-out brochure that will be mailed to everyone. Which also includes revamping the sponsorships that we have for that, which, again, that should be rolled out here in the next 3 months, give or take. Staff continued serving as primary liaison to ComEd, Comcast, and Lakeshore Recycling Systems to ensure these contracts and franchise agreements are managed properly and effectively delivering services to village residents and businesses. Moving to IT, the IT division completed a large core network switching replacement project and implemented high availability architecture for all village firewalls. In case you're wondering, I also don't know what that means, but I've been told it's extremely important. So it took a lot of time and effort for them to do that. They also processed 3,115 work orders between January 1st, 2024 and December 19th, 2024. So they were certainly extremely busy with over 3,000 IT requests coming in. That's a pretty brief overview of everything that's happened in administration over the past year. Again, we always thank the village board for all of their support, as we could not do any of this without your support. With that, are there any questions?
I have one. Do we have any feedback yet? Are we tracking any kind of data on how the new Hefty Renew recycling program is going, what the response is from residents? Are they using it?
Actually, I might have to open that one up.
I can just add to that we get quarterly reports from LRS, and so we have not got our first quarterly.
Not yet.
They just launched it in October, so we don't have enough time to get the data yet. But we do know we've given out a couple dozens of the bags, probably maybe as much as 100 of the bags. We did 50 something at the farmers market.
Yeah, it's hundreds
one Saturday. So
last I checked with Karen's front desk, we were at 300 and some change.
okay.
Boxes of
Yeah,
bags.
so
Single
Single
bags.
bags,
Or
okay.
sometimes somebody comes in, they want to give one to their neighbor, so on.
so we're getting a lot of interest.
Yeah.
From the public. The first kickoff event was at the farmers market,
Right.
where before the program even officially started, we were giving the bags out. So now we do have them at the front desk. We do get regular inquiries about it, and so residents are learning the pattern and the behavior, as well as LRS. You know, it's new for them as well as the hauler, so they have to go through their own learning curve as well. So shortly we'll have our first quarter's worth of data, and then we can report that to the board.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you for the report. The administration department has been very busy, but also very effective. You guys have done a great job, and thank you for all of your help. One of the first things that you talked about in your report was our communications. David, great job with all of our communications that you do. The reach that you're getting through various media and methods is terrific, so thank you. And Jessica, congratulations on helping us secure the Soul Smart Award. Great job with that. So overall, very well done to the whole department. Thank you for your report.
Thank you very much.
I just want to echo my thanks to the team and to our fearless leader, Kent Street, who's not here today.
Minutes of the previous meeting, December 16, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
This is the November 2024 Treasurer's Report. It represents 92% of the year. So one more month to go, almost there. Nothing too exciting this month to report, but that's usually a good thing on the finance side. Our net sales tax did decrease from last month. That's because, if you recall, last month we had some non-recurring revenue, which we think is related to internet sales. So last month was higher. This month comes back down to normal, makes it look like this is a decrease, but not really a problem decrease, I guess. The gross sales tax is still lagging the budgeted amount. That's due to economic incentive activity, which also results in a lower than expected finance department expenditure, so some offset there. Water and sewer billings decreased as we moved out of the higher usage months. That's expected this time of year. Interest income continues to outperform the budget. The rates have remained higher than we thought a year ago, but we do know in September and then again in December the Fed cut the rates, so we'll see what happens into next year. Hotel tax reflects payments from 5 hotels. 1 hotel changed ownership, so we're working with them to collect that 6th payment there. Electric utility tax was collected shortly after month end, so you see a 0 in this month, but in December we'll see 2 months worth of payments there. And notable expenditures in November include construction and engineering costs, 3 payrolls as opposed to the normal 2 payrolls that we have, and then our debt service payments, which happen twice a year. So, happy to answer any questions there may be. That's the overview.
Questions? Thank
Thank
you. Bills and payroll. Is there a motion?
Move approval. Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Benton?
Yes.
Trustee Berg?
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone?
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I can see by the overflow of this room that we must have public comment. It doesn't appear there is any, so we're going to move right along. Reports. We have 2 items on the consent agenda, item 24-139-1 and item 2502. I'll read them and then ask for a motion. 24-139-1, a resolution approving a letter of intent with Verigy LLC for an engineering assessment for the design of a solar system. And item 2502, a resolution authorizing the release of minutes of certain closed meetings of the village board. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Berg?
Yes.
Trustee Goldstone?
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim?
Yes.
Trustee Benton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We have no old business. Under new business, a resolution to purchase bulk rock salt through the Illinois Department of Central Management Services and Lake County.
Thank you, Mayor. This is nothing new for this group. Purchasing rock salt, we typically do this once a year. The way this generally works for those who aren't in the know is we usually get information from the state of Illinois, CMS, and from Lake County in March. And so this year, for example, we'll get an email from them in March, and that will appropriate rock salt for the next season. So it's the 25-26 season. So the rock salt that we're talking about here tonight, with the board's authority, since you guys granted me authority to do the purchasing of rock salt, I signed up for rock salt, 1,500 tons of rock salt in March of last year for the 24-25 season. So that's for this season. They opened the bids in November of 2024. So we don't know the actual dollar amount and what it's going to cost us until November. And by that point, our budget's already done. So it's kind of funny the way that it works out. But with the authority that you guys have granted Public Works to make the purchase, it works out just fine. So with that, as you know, we have a lot of rock salt on hand right now. And so we kind of forecasted for that. We have a 1,500-ton rock salt purchase for the 24-25 season. And we've only got a couple months left here. We aren't really getting a lot of snow. But we are contractually obligated to purchase the 1,500 tons that we're talking about tonight. So it's $113,000. We have budgeted $200,000, and obviously I don't think we're going to hit that number. But the balance of that dollar amount, that additional $87,000, some of that will be used to purchase liquid. So we purchase salt brine and calcium chloride. Sometimes beet juice. We keep that on hand as well, and we usually just get we get prices from different vendors, and we make a purchase of 8,000 or 16,000 gallons at a crack, and we have them bring it in and deliver
Can we
it for
ever
us.
sell that to other communities that might need it?
The
If we
liquid
have
or the
excess-
rock salt? We've had requests for rock salt, but we're kind of like a dragon in that regard. We'd like to hang on to it and sit on it as much as we can, because you never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And once you give it away or you sell it, then it's
gone.
really kind of hard to get it back. So we haven't we've had some requests from other agencies to purchase it from us, and we haven't honored those requests.
But even in a year like this one, Bob, which looks like we're sitting on a lot of it, and we're going to get a lot more, does it make any sense to cut down our order for next year?
So that's a good question, and when the time comes in March for us to make that call, we're going to look into our crystal ball and figure that one out.
Okay.
But it's gonna depend on whether how much we have on hand at the time.
Right.
Let's say, for example, the next 2 months are very snowy. We have 18 call outs or something, and we use a lot. Then we'll make a call from that.
Right.
But as it is right now, I mean, we do need to sign a contract for some rock salt,
Right.
just so that we have a way to receive some. But 1,500 tons might be too much for the next season, so we'll just play that by ear. And if we go through our normal channels, you all will be brought in to know on that information as we go along. So
I have a question, and you may have answered this at a prior meeting. Does some of it go bad if we keep it too long, or does it?
no, it does
doesn't
not go
decompose?
bad. We keep it covered. We have some in a building that's stored inside, and that's just good indefinitely. And then we have some that is at the village's storage yard, which is on Hackberry Road next to the wastewater treatment plant. We have about 2,500 tons there. That's covered with a tarp. We'll get a crust on that, but that crust we'll be able to use to break that up and put it in our trucks and use it just like any other.
So as long as we have storage space, it's okay.
It is, and if right now we have 3,700 tons in reserves, which is a ridiculous amount to have. If we had, if we don't use the 1,500 that we're purchasing, probably sign up for a 500-ton purchase for the next snow season.
We all have garages, so we'll have to just put it in there.
Bring your 5-gallon buckets.
That's part of
Yeah.
volunteering as a trustee. We have to hold some rock salt.
Public service.
And let me add that if you come into our area, we've got brand-new mailboxes that we have this year, and that comes from the leftover snow funds that we had last year that we didn't use. So we used those. Our mailboxes were pretty well rotted out, and we were able to get new ones. That's what happens. You have stuff left over, and so you can use those funds for other things.
It's just tough to predict the weather.
One more thing that I should add, Mayor, because you asked about if we sell rock salt to anybody else. We do sell rock salt to both the Park District and the school district. And they get our unit price that, basically what I do is I have a letter agreement with them. It's really basic. They pay the dollar amount of the higher tonnage. So in this case, it would be the $84.11 per ton. We also sell them liquid, but those are the only agencies that we sell, and we reserve the right to deny them rock salt and liquid if we run short. So they understand that. So middle of the night, we load them up, we keep track of it, and then we bill them usually, June, July.
Who puts down the liquid on the overpasses? Is that Deerfield or the county?
We do use liquid, and we have some spots that we pre-treat, typically bridge decks, but we don't pre-treat the entire village like other villages do. The big bridges, like the tollway bridges, are treated by either IDOT or by the tollway. With that, so we're looking to make the purchase, or at least receive approval tonight for the 113,255, and that's for both CMS and for Lake County joint bids for the it would be 24-25 season.
Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Goldstone.
Yes.
Trustee Oppenheim.
Yes.
Trustee Benton.
Yes?
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With a very short agenda, we go now down to items for discussion by the mayor and the board. I got nothing. How about that?
Wow.
So does anyone have anything they want to say? All right, the under wins. Do you have anything?
Happy New Year to everybody.
That's right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Wow.